Hello angels, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Addie Danielle. Today I'm doing something I'm really excited about. I am filming a sweat-proof, waterproof summer makeup tutorial on this look right here. It is glowy and bronzy and once again sweat-proof, which is important for summer. So if you want to see how I achieve this look and my tips for wearing makeup during the summer, then keep on watching. Fair warning, my neighbors decided today was the best day to start renovating their basement, so there is a ton of construction noise right outside my door. Very sorry about that, please ignore it, and without further ado, here is my summer makeup tutorial. Okay, so the first step, I have already prepped my face, moisturizer, and the most important step of this entire summer makeup routine, sunscreen. This is Cocokind's daily sunscreen. It's SPF 32 and it protects against the sun and blue light, which is like the light from your phone screen. So this sunscreen is amazing, highly recommend. Every single day I want you to wear this. I don't care if it's gloomy out, I don't care if you're not planning on going outside, make it a habit every day. Sunscreen. Now that my lecture is out of the way, let's get into the makeup. Me personally, I like to start with my eyes. I am going to be priming my eyelids with concealer today. If you have eyeshadow primer, then definitely use that. I'm lazy and I'm just gonna use my concealer. I think it works just fine, but to each their own. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on each eye and I just use my finger to blend that in. Now that my eyes are prepped with the concealer, I'm just going to set that with some powder, and you can use like a cream eyeshadow or you can use your typical, you know, setting powder. And I'm just taking that on a big fluffy eyeshadow brush and just setting that concealer so it stays even longer. Please ignore my friend Barb. She decided she wanted to make an appearance today, so don't let her distract you too much. I know that she likes to steal the show. Silly Barb. Now that my eyes are completely set, it's time to move into the fun part, which is eyeshadow. For this look, I'm going for a very bronzy, brown toned, like sparkly look, because when I think summer, I think glowy bronze. And I'm wearing like a gold sparkly top today, so it fits. I'm going to be using a bunch of different eyeshadow palettes to create this look. You can use whatever you have at home. Just find something similar or, you know, go off on your own and add a new color, whatever you want to do. Makeup is, what's the word I'm looking for? Subjective. Makeup is subjective, so whatever you think looks best with your skin tone, use that. The first color I want to go in with is this like creamy pink orangish color. This is just going to help me like start the base to define my eyes. And you want to always start with a lighter color and build up. If you just go straight in with the dark color, it's going to be patchy and it's going to be hard to blend. The easiest way to blend is to slowly move up on the color wheel and just get darker and darker. So I'm just going to place that right in my lid and kind of just do that side to side motion. Don't worry too much about blending yet, just kind of wanting to place it there for now. And you can use a more neutral tone if you think this is too orange for you. Personally, I feel like all like colors pull orange on me just because of my hair and my skin tone, but it might not look as orange on you. On days where I'm feeling really lazy, I'll just do this just to have something on my eyes and move on. But since we're doing a makeup tutorial, we are gonna make this glamorous. So the next color I'm gonna go in with is from a Ciate London palette. I got this in an Ipsy, and it is gonna be this color right here. As you can tell, it's just like a darker color of the one we just used, and that's just gonna help me define. So now that we're getting into this darker color, you're gonna want to be more careful with your placement. It's not like that, it's fine to go all over the lid. You wanna be more delicate and specific. So I'm gonna just be really careful to place just right in that lid and go side to side very slowly. Now we're just gonna gradually darken that crease color. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to this more neutral toned brown because I feel like this is pulling a little bit too orange. I like that. We're gonna do a little bit darker. So I'm gonna go in with this darker brown color right here. I'm gonna use a little bit more precise of a brush for that. just so that I don't end up getting it all over my lid. So I'm just gonna get that darker brown color. I'm gonna focus it on the outer corner more than I am focusing it on the crease, but still blending into the crease a little bit. And again, do not worry about placement at the moment. I know it doesn't look blended because it's not, but we will get there. Okay, now that that color is placed, you're gonna wanna take a new blending brush that is clean, and you're gonna wanna just go in circular motions. We're not trying to get it everywhere, so kind of just blend out the edges of that color. Blend it inwards a little bit. You want there to be no specific line of darkness. You want it just kind of gradually fade into that darker color. So that is as dark as I want to go, just because I have a lighter complexion. But if you wanted to go darker than that and you feel like you want more drama, you totally can with some of these darker colors down here, or an even darker brown than the one that we just used. But now we are going to move on to brightening up the lid with some sparkle. So I'm going to be using this gold color right here. It is a very neutral toned shimmer, but it is very, very pigmented. So I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush because I don't want it to be too sparkly, and get a little bit of that pigment and make sure you dust it off, because with these like sparkly pigments, they get everywhere. So now that you have a little bit on your brush, I'm just gonna start from the inner corner and slowly move into about the middle with that pigment. That looks good. I'm gonna do the other eye. And I'm just gonna blend the middle line right here between the dark color and the pigment color so it's not so obvious. And there you have it. So next we're gonna move on to eyeliner, and for the eyeliner, I am actually going to be using eyeshadow. Instead of using a black liquid eyeliner, since it's summer, we want it to be less dark and heavy, and eyeliner tends to run, especially when it's hot and you're sweating. So this is a way that you can define the lid without having to use a dark black liquid eyeliner that's going to run everywhere as soon as you start sweating. You're going to want to use a more precise brush. I am using a brush that looks like this, so I can get very specific, and we're gonna go back in with that dark brown color that we used to define the outer corner, and we're gonna get it on the tip of this brush. So I'm just gonna pull the lid a little bit and focus this color right on the lash line. You can see how it kind of just defines my eye a little bit more on this side. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. Okay, that is it for the eye look. I know it was super basic and easy. I just wanted to do something simple and everyday for summer. Okay, now we are moving on to concealer. That is usually the order of appearance. Obviously, you do not have to follow my way of it, but the concealer I use is the same one I used to prime my eyelids. It's the NARS Creamy Concealer, and this is the shade Medium 1. This is a little baby size one because I wanted to try it before I committed to the full thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the under eyes. And then once I blend this out, I will go ahead and spot conceal. I am using this brush to blend the concealer. It's like an angled brush. This is from Complex Culture, and I absolutely love this brush. It is a game changer for me. So using the pointy end, I'm just going to kind of just stamp the concealer into my skin instead of just kind of trying to move it around a ton at first. Really get it into the areas that my dark spots are the worst. And I don't blend all the way up because I want that fallout of the eyeshadow to stay under my eye to kind of help pull together the whole eyeshadow look. So I just kind of take it to about here and I let that eyeshadow be where it wants to be. And then I just start dragging it down and using it kind of to cover up some redness around my nose and around my eyebrows, and just using that excess concealer to conceal. a little bit around my face. Doing the same thing on this side, just kind of dragging it down, setting it, tapping it into place. Okay, so my under eye concealer is done. Next I'm going to spot conceal, and I don't like my spot concealer to be too heavy because a lot of the times less is better when it comes to trying to cover up something like a blemish or a dark spot. So I will place the concealer on my hand and dip the brush into the concealer versus putting the concealer straight on the pimple or the spot. Also, this little concealer brush carries bacteria, so if I put this right on my, you know, open giant zit, it's gonna spread around wherever I put it. So put it on the back of your hand, dip the brush, and then we just start to spot conceal. Obviously Barb is going first since she is large and in charge, and then I just have a lot of maskne going on around my mouth and my jaw. So I'm just gonna do a little bit around there. Shout out to maskne, really just doing things for my self-confidence, but the good thing is that I have to wear a mask anyway, so nobody sees the acne. I can hide behind my mask even though the mask is the one causing the issue. And you know what? These days in summer, I don't really worry about covering up my acne too much because it's just like, why should I? It's normal. I don't want it completely gone. I just want it to be less like in your face, but you can see that it still shines through my concealer a little bit. And so I'm not going for a full coverage look, especially in summer. I'm going just for a natural look. If you like full coverage, you can totally use a full coverage concealer and really get in there and cover everything up. But for my preference, I just like to be a little less, definitely not light coverage either. It's more of a medium. After I've concealed, I'm going to go in with foundation, and this is my revolutionary summer product that I learned about last year or the year before that I have been living for ever since. So in summer especially, I like to use powder foundation, and I have never been the type of person to use powder foundation. I've always been a liquid foundation hoe. Like I used Marc Jacobs Remarkable and Estee Lauder Double Wear. Like if you've ever used those, you know those are like heavy duty thick foundation that will cover your whole face and you will look flawless, which I still can appreciate a good full coverage liquid foundation. But for every day and in summer, I don't want to have all of that. I don't want it to be melting off my face, clogging my pores. For me, unless I'm going to an event, I'm not going to wear that much makeup. And as you can tell, I am in love with this product, so we're going to scrape together what we can. But this is Burt's Bees, which is crazy. I didn't even know they made makeup. And the label is literally gone because I use it so much. It's Burt's Bees mattifying powder foundation with bamboo. It's 100% natural and it is amazing. It comes with a little powder thing, which mine got used to death, so I don't use it anymore. I'm in the shade Almond, which this shade is actually quite a bit darker than my face, if you can tell, but my face is lighter than the rest of my body because I use sunscreen religiously every day, as you should. So I just use a big fluffy brush. I would use the applicator, but it's gone. So I just swirl her around, and I gotta be really specific about this because I only have it on the outsides and we are running out of product here. So as you can see, my brush is pretty coated in the foundation. This is not very heavy, but it is mattifying. So all of my oily gals, this is your new best friend. I don't know if I would recommend this for people with dry skin. It might be really drying unless you use a really good moisturizer underneath, but they do have other powder foundations that aren't mattifying. This is just one that I use because I am oily, and in the summer especially, I look like a greasy french fry. So I just go in circles and really like push it towards the back, if you know what I'm saying. And this foundation really just like, do you see that? It just really creates like a very smoothing effect. Like yes, you can still see some spots, but like that's normal. I'm not trying to cover those up because I'm not ashamed. But it does just create like a very smoothing effect on the skin, which I love, without being super heavy. So I am just going to apply that all over. Okay, once my whole look is set, I like to go back in with my powder foundation on a little brush like this and just blend under my eyes where that eyeshadow is and where my concealer is, and just really get rid of all the creasing that's going on. I don't recommend baking. I think it's just cakes way too much powder on. You want to just kind of be delicate with it. But to each their own. I just personally do not like to bake. I like to bake cookies and cupcakes, not my under eyes. Next, we are gonna go into eyebrows, and I know that that's kind of weird, like we're just jumping around so much, but I just like to get like the base, everything on, and then we'll go in for the details, like the blush and the bronzer and the mascara and the lipstick and all of that. So one thing I do in the summer that really helps me is I actually do this all year round, but in the summer it really helps, is I dye my eyebrows so I don't have to like worry so much about filling them in because it will melt off. So I have completely blonde eyebrows, like they are not visible, which is, I know, is hard to believe because you can see right now they are putting in work. So I actually dye them with men's beard dye, which I know it sounds crazy. It's actually called Just for Men, which is ironic, but it comes in a little box with these two products. It's the developer and the color, and I mix them together and I put them on my eyebrows, and I dye my eyebrows about every 2 to 3 weeks. If you guys want a video on how to dye your eyebrows at home, this is like a $6 thing, and these last me for like 3 months. So dyeing my eyebrows really helps save time in my makeup routine, and also helps because like if I go swimming, I still have eyebrows. I don't have to worry. Like growing up, I would fill in my eyebrows with Dip Brow from Anastasia, and I couldn't go swimming because I'd always be afraid that my eyebrows are coming off. So, but I do like to go in and fluff them up a little bit more and add a little bit more definition. I use Babe Lash's Volumizing Brow. This is very similar to Boy Brow by Glossier, and I actually like it better. It has like little fibers, and it's a little brush, and you just brush it in. And I love this product. I literally use this religiously, and it just holds my eyebrows in place, but also just like defines them a little bit more. So I will go in and just kind of coat everything first, and then I will go in and push them up so that it's more of like a fluffy appearance. Time to go into the other eye. Okay, that is my eyebrows. They're not perfect, but they look natural to me. Like they just look, you know, they haven't been tweezed in months, but that's okay because we're going for a natural beauty. Yeah, and these brows, they're staying on all day, girl. Like you have to really get them off. So now we are going to go into blush and bronzer. I personally like to use a liquid bronzer and blush to kind of add some moisture back into the skin. We don't want to be completely dry. I find actually that the gel bronzers and blushes stay longer than the powder do. So once it's on there, it'll be wet, and then once it's dry, girl, it is not coming off. Like you are good to go. This is the gel bronzer I use. It is from Chantecaille. It is just their little tube of bronzer, and the way I like to do this looks like this. I just kind of push it a little bit, so ooh, a little comes to the surface. That was a lot. And then I will literally place dots on my cheekbone that I want to have the bronzer, and then I'll do the same over here. What a look. And I just use that same brush that I used for my concealer to just go kind of in circles. You really want to blend it back into the hairline. Now that that's on, I like to go back in with the same brush I used for my powder foundation and just kind of blend it with a powder brush. Makes it look even more natural and blended. And as you can tell, that just gave me like a very glowy, summery look, and it's very natural and subtle versus having like a thick bronzer line. And I'm telling you, this gel bronzer is now dry and it is not moving. I can sweat all I want and it is not coming off. And then for my highlighter, I'm using the Becca Opal Liquid. This is another little mini that I've had for forever, and it still has some in there. So once again, I place it on the back of my hand. Like that is a good amount. It's very pigmented. And this is like a pinky shade. I think it looks really pretty in the summer. I'm just going to take my blending sponge. What is this thing called? Beauty blender. And get a little bit on there. And we are just going to push it into the cheeks and Girl, you are glowing. Now that we are a glowing queen, it is time for blush. I just realized that my liquid blush is in storage. I'm just gonna be using a Milani baked blush today, but you can use whatever you want. I do recommend liquid blush, but you gotta work with what you got. So I like to use this tiny little brush so I can be very specific about my blush placement. I think it makes a huge difference on where you put your blush. Kind of can make or break an entire look. So I like to start right underneath my iris and kind of just slowly go into bigger and bigger circles, and I go in kind of like a diagonal motion. So I like to kind of bring my blush up versus bringing it out or bringing it, you know, in the center. And I just feel like it gives me like a little facelift look kind of. And I of course love the trend where you place the blush on the nose. I think it's so cute, especially for the summer. A lot of people hate it. Whatever you want to do, like I said, makeup is subjective. And that is it for my face. This is your glowy summer face that is not going to sweat off. At this point I would usually spray setting spray, but guess what? It's also in storage, so just pretend Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray. Yes, queen, she's not coming off. Now let's get into mascara, and my mascara tip is probably my #1 summer tip that I tell everybody. I'm like, you need this. So my tip for summer mascara is not to use waterproof, but to use a tubular mascara. A lot of people have never heard of a tubular mascara and they're like, what is that, or how does it work? So basically, instead of normal mascara just coats the lashes with the mascara, and then at the end of the day you have to use makeup remover and scrub it off and it gets everywhere, and then it starts to melt and you have it under your eyes in the summer. No girl, tubular mascara is going to create, I don't even know the science behind it, but it works, trust me. It's going to create a little tube around each individual lash, and the only way that it comes off is with warm water. And you don't even have to pull hard, you just get warm water on your fingers and just gently pull down and all the tubes will start coming off of your eyes. But I'm telling you, if you don't use warm water and do the slow pulling method, it will not come off. You can go swimming, you can sweat, you can take a shower. Like sometimes I'll wear mascara for 2 days in a row because I just forget to take it off because it's like it's on there, it's not smudged or anything. And also I've noticed using a tubular mascara that my lashes grow like crazy because I'm not scrubbing my mascara off at the end of the day. So I've had insane lash growth with using this mascara and using my lash serum. So I highly, highly recommend. There is many tubular mascaras. The one that I use is called Eclipse. It is a volumizing and it is from Lune & Aster, which this is a company I used to work for when I worked at a makeup store. You can get it at any Bluemercury. Bluemercury is kind of like a luxury Sephora. That's where I used to work for a long time. They have them all around. If you don't have a Bluemercury near you, you can get it online at bluemercury.com. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just am insanely in love with this mascara, and it's only $20. And like $20 for a good mascara that will last you in like, one tube will last you through the whole summer, and I'm telling you, you will not have any mascara smudges, like none. You are good to go. Definitely recommend. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes. Now that my lashes are curled, let's see the magic happen. Do y'all see that? Look how long they are. So that is like one coat. You're kidding me. Look how long they are. Girl, look at the difference. I am amazed every time I put this mascara on and every time I take it off. Seriously, if you learned one thing from this video, go buy this freaking mascara. Alrighty, it is time to go in with the final step. Normally I would not wear any lip product because I have a mask on and it'll just transfer onto my mask. But for the sake of this video and for the sake of normalcy, I'm going to put on a lip product. I really like wearing lip gloss in the summer. I don't really like having a lot of heavy stuff on my lips, so I just like a nice lip gloss. Sometimes I'll line, but I'm just going to be using this Chantecaille light pink corally lip gloss that I absolutely love. It is beautiful. It is just very subtle, just adding a little bit of gloss and shine. But yeah, that is it for my summer makeup tutorial. I hope y'all learned something. If you try this look out, please tag me on Instagram. I will link my Instagram down below. And I'm excited to see y'all recreate this summer glowy look. Please try out the mascara. Let me know how you like it. I know that y'all are going to love it. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Love you!